So it's funny because, I told you we went hiking yesterday, and I'm sitting in the car. Wife was driving, so that was nice. I just didn't feel like driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, about 5 miles from home, just like, staring out the window like a dog. And I realized that I just never uploaded the podcast or did anything with it. I was just so busy all weekend, like I never downloaded I didn't do anything with it.
That's interesting because I was getting a little worried about it yesterday. That's why I was like, "Do you want me to do it?"
Well, I wasn't home, so it's like I couldn't have given you the video file to do it.
Right. I mean, I just didn't know if you just
quit.
Didn't think about it, or you're like, I just don't feel like it.
44 is enough. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
No, I just forgot. I was like, oh my God, I just felt bad, So I got home last night and edited it up real quick. And, thankfully, because I take notes during the show, because honestly, I think I've said this before, but writing the description is the hardest part. Like editing there's not a lot of editing going on,
Except for
it's the syncing it up and fixing your horrible video. But other than that, I mean, it's not a whole lot. But having to write the description, and which I mainly do that with the description because in the future, if somebody like, oh, I want to go back and watch or listen to that one show where they talked about that one thing, I want to try to make it at least somewhat possible. Like, I mean, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, like maybe you want to go back and watch like an old Bithead video, right? Like, I remember that one where he was talking about whatever, in his little monologue or whatever. You can't find him because like there's no like metadata about what he was talking about in the description. So it's like, it's like impossible to find him. And so I'm trying to just not do that. So,
and you got to really use your memory to figure out like, well, I looked at it this time and I remember it taking place.
Yeah.
During this time, so like, what's the difference? And it ends up being a lot of math that you didn't want to do.
Right. So I'm just trying to help people out. I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah, I think it's pretty admirable, like the level of detail you put in the description.
Yeah.
If only I could write down some stuff also, but.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary. I just try, anytime I talk about anything, I just try to write down little bullet points. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't think
makes a lot.
I don't think I need you to do anything really. Just
You're doing the work now, so you don't have to do it later.
Here. Exactly. Yes.
Are you pretty big into that kind of thing?
What?
I'd rather get stuff. You'd rather get stuff done now, or at least start on it, so that it's not as much work later on. Or are you like a procrastinator? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Like,
in fact, I was just talking to somebody at work about that today, where she was talking about how like, oh, I'm trying not to be such a procrastinator and blah blah blah. And I just basically told her, I said, look, you can either be that way and say like, oh, I procrastinate too much and I don't want to do that, and you can try to fix it, or you can just embrace it.
Yeah. I
mean, it's not. I've never paid any kind of had any kind of major consequences for the fact that I procrastinate. It works for me. I get my stuff done when it needs to get done. I just wait till the last second to do it. And then I enjoy my time.
And
I think some people, they can't procrastinate because they know in the back of their head, oh, I have this thing I have to do. And, if I can't enjoy my time until that's done.
Yeah.
And I will admit, like, as far as the show goes, like, there have been times where we've recorded and I've literally, like, after the show, like that day or the next day, edited it, uploaded it, and written everything and been done for the week. I'm not going to say it doesn't feel nice, but
yeah, it feels nice to get it done like that. But honestly, I used to be so good at getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, it depends. It changes from week to week. Depends on how much I want to do something, I guess.
I mean, it's just hard because like, I've got a lot of stuff I got to get done, right? Like, show stuff, house stuff, work stuff. And so it's, constantly trying to prioritize things, and plus wanting to have my own time to just rest.
Yeah.
Which the older I get, the more of that I feel like I want or need.
Yeah. And, when you say resting, it's not like sleeping.
Yeah. But
it's just
mentally
like laying around.
shutting off my brain a little bit and just.
Yeah.
When
people say like, oh, I just wish I could just sleep all the time. And it's like, I wouldn't want that because it just makes the things that you don't want to do come faster.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw that movie Parenthood with like
A long
Steve
time
Martin
ago.
and Rick Moranis. Like everybody was in that. Mary Steenburgen, whatever, Ted Danson's wife. And like there's this one scene where I won't say it's an argument, but like Steve Martin's character is kind of, getting into an argument with his wife,
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is in that too, isn't he?
And-
Like a young Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Because he's just like stressed out, and his wife says something to him about, well, do you have to, I think he had to go to work or something. She's like, do you have to, or whatever. And his response is he just says, my whole life is have to. And
yeah.
I just think that's like the feeling of just being an adult is it's just like you have all this stuff that you have to do, even if it's like you have to because you put yourself in that position, right? Like,
Yeah.
nobody put a gun to our heads and made us have a podcast or made each of us have a YouTube channel. But like, once you commit to it, like you either commit to it or you're a flake.
Yeah. Or
So
you
it
just
becomes a
stop
have
doing
to,
it. Yeah. Speaking on that, so tomorrow I'm celebrating 15 years of marriage to my wife.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
I mean, I think that after 15 years of marriage and like 3 to 4 years of dating before that, close to 20 years total. I think it's safe to say that the newness has worn off.
Wow, I guess your wife doesn't listen to the podcast if you feel comfortable just saying that. Like, why don't you go run upstairs?
I just think it's really funny to say
just
that.
run
Like,
upstairs real quick. I'll
the
edit it out. Go
honeymoon is
upstairs and
over.
tell your wife, like, hey, I just want you to know that the newness has really worn off.
I mean, I'm sure that she'd be like, yeah.
We're in the old
mean, it's
comfortable
been nearly
pair of
20
shoes
years.
phase. Yeah. I mean, that's
I just
true.
like the
but I
idea
don't-
of like it's not like meant to be like mean or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that like 20 years of anybody, the newness is going to have been worn off.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, for sure. It's like there's different phases of a relationship, but I mean, I think it's nice when you're with someone that long. It's just like, you're supposed to say that, oh, they're my best friend and, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's something that happens over time,
Right. Oh, yeah.
But certainly by now, like I could definitely say, I mean, my wife is absolutely my best friend and
Same here.
is a closer, member of my, as far as family goes. I mean, she's the person
She's
that
the closest you've ever been to anybody.
Right. Yes. But that doesn't mean, even like when people get married, like people that aren't sometimes together that long before they get married, it's like you can say those things, but they're really probably not true yet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that, like, that's why when I say like, oh, I feel bad for saying it but you understand.
You
like,
kind
it
of
was
should.
just like
I'd feel bad if I said that.
Really?
Like, would my wife like to hear me say something like that? I don't think so.
Well,
The newness is worn off. Like, good Lord.
I mean, I thought it was more funny because it was, I don't know, maybe it's
just
wrong,
funny,
but-
I had
but-
this whole list of topics that are all just sort of lighthearted fluff, and instead we're,
no
8 minutes in,
I
and I'm
mean-
already thinking, boy, I hope Corey's wife doesn't listen to this episode.
But no, I mean, like as long as the people listening understand that it was meant to be
Yeah.
a joke. I mean, or we can just cut this whole portion
I'm
out.
definitely not going to do that. That's a lot more editing than I'm going to do.
Oh, okay.
It'll be fine.
Well, good to know.
Hey, your shirt that you're wearing there today, I don't think I've seen that one before. Cincinnati there.
Yeah. It's like a pinball group here.
I get that. It reminds me of Flipadelphia. If you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
I've watched a couple episodes of the first season, and I put it on in the background.
Yeah.
But I've not seen the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, no, neither. I mean, I don't watch. I probably watched a few seasons of it. I mean, it's funny. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I just remember sometimes I just get that Flipadelphia thing stuck in my head. So when I saw the
Well, Cincinnati is a good name, right?
Yeah.
It's a good play on the name, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean, I
have
haven't
something
worn
here
this in a while
called
because I lost it.
Crackamento, where we have, it's like a crack convention, you know. Well, here's all the new crack that's coming out on the market this year, you know.
Got like, like what is the newest of the new? Like what's the the BMW of crack these days?
Well, probably that would just be coke.
The Lamborghini of
that would be cocaine. You know, that's the whole point. Crack is like, I want to drive a Mercedes, but I can only afford, I don't even know what's an example of a really. Well, see, I don't want to offend people that drive Hondas. There's nothing wrong with a Honda.
No,
I don't like Hondas, but I'm a Toyota man myself. All right, so this is a real stupid question. I shouldn't even ask you this question because I'm sure I already know the answer because you are as much of a basic B as I am. Streets of Rage 2. Who's your go-to character?
Blaze.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
All right. That's good. I just assumed, because I'm an Axel guy, which is like I think the most basic choice.
Yeah,
so I
like
assumed
the
you were
jeans
the
and
same way.
t-shirt.
That's very interesting though, because like I said, I always play Axel, and then this morning I fired it up and played as Blaze, and it really kind of got me thinking. Like, I need to play with Blaze a little more often. I like, she's a little bit quicker.
Absolutely,
I think.
Yeah,
I don't like her special move as much.
Are more,
but
I think. Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is basically all the special moves in that game, specifically in the second one, are all really satisfying. It is really great, like with Axel when you get him in the whole, like the barrage of punches and then like
no.
Like
I don't
little dragon punch.
I don't mean the pressing the A. I don't mean the special attack that costs some of your life. I mean like the double tap forward attack.
Yeah, well, she has
like for
the
Axel,
flip.
that's the grand upper, and for Blaze, it's some kind of weird,
she
forward
does like a flip.
But then Max's is he just does like that slide attack that like those signal dudes do.
Yeah.
Which that's such a weird name, the yellow signal and red signal. What is that?
It's like like G signal and Y signal.
What is that? I don't get it. But that thing's pretty useless, that attack. But I think part of that is like his main attack is much more powerful because he's, swole.
Yeah.
But
it's like can barely move it. He's so huge his arms look like they're just like little like nubs on him, I guess.
But anyway, I was thinking while I was playing it, which by the way, I was playing it because we have this thing we do in my Discord. This guy Josh runs this the CGQ Challenge Club.
Yeah,
and like every week there's like 2 new games, and he comes up with like challenges for each game. Just achievements.
Yeah.
And this week one of the games is Streets of Rage 2, and the first challenge is like because you have to take screenshots of this stuff, and like the first one is like just get a picture like wielding the pipe, fighting against those biker dudes on the bridge in level 2.
Yeah.
And then like the second challenge was fighting that Big Ben guy, the fat guy, fire breathing fat guy on the pitcher's mound. And what is that? I think that's like stage 4, maybe.
Yeah, where you take it's like that, and then the elevator goes down.
Yeah, that's mound. Like you fight him, and then the elevator goes down right after that fight.
Yeah.
And then the last challenge was to beat the game. And so I was playing it for that reason. But like I said, I always play as Axel. And I just think it's weird because it's just like I always play as Axel. And it's like the developers gave you, like, here's this easy way to get more replay value out of the game, by playing as these different characters that play very differently. And yet I never do that. It's kind of wasted opportunity.
Well, to be fair, Axel's my favorite in the first one.
Okay.
Because they're all essentially almost the same in the first one.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard for me, like, if I play as somebody else, because when I play as Axel, like, I really use that grand upper a lot. Like, a lot. And to not have that, but I guess that's part of the replay value is not having that. Like, you have to really play the game differently with the different characters. So
yeah, I mean, I've never finished the game with Max or Skate.
Yeah, me either. Other thing, I literally did not know this until yesterday, that in Streets of Rage 2, there's a hidden extra life literally right at the beginning of the game. No idea.
I didn't know that either.
I had no idea. So it's well, I'm glad that I'm not the only one then. But so it's like literally right when the game starts, right? Don't go right and scroll the screen like at all. And like in the lower left-hand corner, I don't know if I forgot if it's a mailbox or there's something in the foreground, like that obscures your view. You walk behind it and hit the button and you pick up a 1-up.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know. I was watching a playthrough and somebody went and grabbed it. And I was like, what? And I booted the game up and sure enough.
I mean, that's why it's even there. Like, is because they want people. Like, people will be talking about it.
Yeah.
25 some years later.
Yeah.
What a good game, though. I mean, I would say that Streets of Rage 2 is one of, like a small handful of games that I would say is like nearly perfect, if not perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I really can't think of a criticism.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I mean, I would say that even today it's the best game in the genre. Like the sequels and stuff, like a lot of the new ones have had, have like refined it further. But I think just like as a base level, I think it is the best game in the genre.
Yeah.
The best beat 'em up.
Although I will say this, and I'm not saying any of these games like would compete with it for best, but maybe it's just me. Like I don't feel like I ever see anybody talking about like the Final Fight games on the Super Nintendo after the first one. Like Final Fight 2 and 3. Like I was playing those. I was like, wow, these are. I mean, Final Fight 1 is fine. Like I mean, some people really like that game. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than average. I shouldn't say it's just fine, but
yeah.
But I was playing 2 and 3, and I just thought like, wow, like these are a lot better. It's saying, and again, the first one's a good game. I'm not saying it's not, but 2 and 3 to me both. Like 2 was a lot better, and then 3 was like even like wow, even better. Like 3 has more like special moves, almost like you're playing a fighting game.
Well, yeah, because it's like a post Street Fighter 2 era where you can put in these button combos and stuff to do Street Fighter like moves.
Yeah.
And I think like wasn't Saturday Night Slam Masters like that also?
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I don't particularly care for the second one.
Yeah.
I think it feels like really cheap.
Oh.
Like it just like has a cheap feel to it. But the third one's pretty good, even though I've never really played all the way through it. But they're both like playing to the strength of the being a home like a console game,
Yeah.
And does the second one have, or maybe it's just the third one, it has the ability to play 2 players with one player.
Oh, or
like
you could have like co-op and have the other
CPU.
be computer controlled. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was only the third one, but yeah, I remember I saw that and was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Although it's funny because it's the same problem that I often had playing that kind of game, 2-player co-op with somebody where you can accidentally attack your friend.
Yeah.
And I remember that can still, because I was playing the game that way, like co-op with the computer, and it doesn't do any damage to the person, but it's still kind of like if they're in the middle of attacking somebody, and then you come up behind them and accidentally attack them, it's not helpful.
Right.
Yeah. So next thing I had on my list here, just this is almost in a way kind of a follow up to something I said last week. Just a weird experience. So you remember last week I told you about going to see Mike Watt and his band play live, and that the opening act was like the worst thing I've ever heard, I think.
Yeah.
And again,
they
not
to the
saying
show.
that to be funny at all. Like it really is like haha, Limp Bizkit sucks, that kind of stuff. Like this, I'm not even sure I would classify this as music. This was like, maybe to somebody that's really into like avant-garde kind of artwork, maybe they'd be like, oh, it's like it was like the music or audio version of like a Jackson Pollock painting. And I mean that in the worst way possible, because I'm also not, I'm not particularly impressed with most modern art personally. People, I mean, I don't know. They made a movie about Jackson Pollock, played by Ed something or other, the Abyss guy. Ed Harris, thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe he's an interesting guy. I don't think his paintings are much to look at personally, but maybe I'm just a Philistine or something. But anyway, so last week my wife and I went and saw this band. Apparently they're very popular. I had never heard of them. So I work on a university campus, and my wife does also. And, we have a performance hall, that's, very nice. And so we get a lot of performers coming through and playing there. And so we just keep an eye on, what shows are coming up. And if anything looks interesting, we just buy tickets. It's pretty cheap. We get a staff discount, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I saw this band or whatever you want to call it coming up in the schedule called Snarky Puppy. And I saw that. I'm like, what the heck is Snarky Puppy? And I looked it up, and it's like a modern jazz ensemble, but like their latest album won like the Grammy. And I was like, all right, well, I listened to some of their music. And I'm like, all right, this is, I'm into jazz, but I like traditional jazz. I like new age jazz. Like I get into all that stuff. So, I listened to their stuff, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so I told my wife, like, let's get tickets to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was like a couple months ago. And then, it came up. I forgot what day last week. It was like Thursday or something. It doesn't really matter. It was Thursday, actually. And like, I was tired. Like, I've been working all day on the house on Thursday. I probably went to work too and then came home and worked on the house. I was just really tired, and I really didn't want to go to the concert just because I was tired. Yeah. But, those tickets, they're not free. We get a discount, but it's still, money. Yeah. And so like we go, and like first we accidentally show up early because we thought that the show started at 7. It didn't start till 7:30, right? Because we're like, where is everybody? Why isn't there anybody in the drink line? And
but could you get drinks?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, where is everybody? Normally, there's a line for drinks.
Like, wouldn't it be funny if like just nobody showed up? You're the only ones that bought.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But so anyway, we get our drinks and whatnot, and we just kind of like hung around the lobby, and finally we went and got our seats, and we're sitting there, and like there's a screen that kind of comes down from the top of the stage. Mm-hmm. And it's just sort of like advertisements for the venue before the show starts. Like, come back on October 17th and see whoever or whatever. And then like every fourth or fifth slide was this thing that it said, there will be a 25-minute intermission. Right. And I saw that, and I was just like, F, like that means there's going to be an opening act, because it didn't say anything about an opening, because a lot of times at this place there's not an opening act. It depends on if you go see like a rock band or something. Of course there's going to be an opener, but like a lot of the stuff we go see, there's not one.
Yeah.
And like I'm tired. Oh, I didn't even mention this. I was missing a 49ers game because Thursday Night Football they played, so I was a little salty about that. And so I'm like sitting in my seat before the thing starts, like trying to follow along the game on my ESPN app because I can't. Like the Wi-Fi bandwidth was not such that it would let me watch the game on my phone.
Do that kind of stuff,
and
like any kind of venue.
And then, like I said, I saw that there was this opening act, and I'm just like, oh God, just
who's it going to be?
Yeah, I'm just not happy, right? Because like, can we just get this over with, please? I just want to go home, right? So my point is, I had a very negative attitude towards this opening act, right? And then like some guy from Snarky Puppy, I guess, comes out there and he's like, oh, thanks for coming out, blah, blah, blah. Like we'll be out here and like, because the thing is, there's opening act, right? Like, even if they only play for a half an hour, then there's going to be a 25-minute intermission. So it's like the show's not going to start until at least 8:30. That's what in my head, I'm like, oh,
You're doing the math, and you're not liking the numbers that you're crunching.
Yeah. So anyway, he comes out and he's just like, oh yeah, first we got this opening act, whatever, and then he leaves and this opening act comes out. Right. Which again, I'm making the point. I had a negative, I was in a negative headspace about these people. Right. Mm-hmm. They come out and start playing and just blow me away. My wife and I both blow us away. Like these guys are like amazing. Right.
Right.
And so they play for, 30, 40 minutes, whatever, and they do all their thing. Like, oh my God, these guys are awesome. Like they have, because there's a merch table, out in the lobby. I'm like, can I get their album out there? Because I'm in, And so they finished playing finally, and the guy's like, oh, thanks, we were whatever, come on out to the lobby, grab our album, come say hi, whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And so then like the lights come back on because they left, and my wife and I both go up and go out to the lobby. And while we're waiting in line, they come out and sit behind the merch table, the band, or whatever you want to call it. They're a trio, but it's like, jazz type music. And they come out there, like I ended up buying like 2 copies of their album on CD, like one to keep and one to send to my mom because she would like that. And then they had the copy of their album on vinyl, but they're out there with Sharpies. And I'm like, well, as long as you're here, I'm going to buy a copy on vinyl and like unseal it real quick and have them sign it.
Yeah.
And the bass player is Japanese. And so whatever he wrote is in Japanese. I'm still trying to figure out what he wrote.
So what were they called?
They were called House of Waters, which I don't.
Interesting.
Not really into that name, but they're a trio. There's a drummer, this little Japanese guy, which I only say because he was a very small guy,
small stature.
Well, yes, but he was playing a 6-string electric bass, which when you're small, like that's already a ridiculously sized instrument, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you're tiny, it just looks even more. It's like that Rosanna Dana chick in the gigantic rocking chair on Saturday Night Live. And then the guy who's kind of like the leader of the band, because he was the one always talking to the crowd, was playing a hammered dulcimer, which I don't even know what that is. Like, and the thing is, from the stage, I couldn't see what it was because it's like a wooden box, but it's above eye level, so I can't see what he's doing. But he has these little, like the same kind of hammers that maybe a xylophone player would have, but smaller, like little. And I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate to say that somebody could be shredding on a hammered dulcimer, but I don't know what else to call it. The dude was just shredding on that thing. It was crazy.
Like, how did they even figure this out? Like, how did they even meet and say, like, let's make music using these things?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I didn't even know a hammered dulcimer was a thing. So somebody found out about that and was like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate my life to playing that. But he did, and he's very good. And so we bought that, and we've listened to the album is really, really good. But I will say, I mean, because it's still jazz, and so there's a lot more of the, improvised solos live.
Yeah.
There was way more shredding going on in person.
Yeah.
The songs are more subdued. And I'm not saying that's like a bad, but I'm saying if somebody goes and types it into Apple Music and listens to it, they'd be like, oh, yeah, it's kind of cool. But I'm saying just trust me, in concert, there were extended solos where the guy was just going nuts, and then the bassist was getting his solos, and he was just going. It was just great. Mm-hmm. And so we were just like, oh, it's awesome. So like I said, we went and we got the CDs and did whatever else and talked to the guys. Because it was sad. Like, even after all that, everybody in the merch line is just buying snarky puppy crap. And like, nobody was talking to these guys. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, did you not hear what I just heard?
So you talked to him for a while.
Well, nobody else was trying to. So like, my wife was chatting it up with the guy. And so then we go back into
you should invite him on. Should have invited him on the podcast.
I should have.
I mean, you could probably send him an email and I probably remember.
I probably could. So then we go back into the hall or whatever, because Snarky Puppy's going to come out, and like it was like 3 songs into their set, the people next to us got up and walked out. No, I don't mean like got up and like I don't mean like a restaurant, like you get up and like you rip the napkin out of your lap and throw it on the. They're just like, all right, we're out. And they left. And when that happened, I kind of like looked over at my wife and kind of gave her a look, like, without just with my eyes. I'm just like, oh, what do you think of that? And she looked over. She's like, we can go if you want, but not in a way of like, well, we can go if you. But I mean, I could. She was like, we know. And I was just like, well, let's just wait a couple more.
When you say it like that, it makes me
songs,
feel
like
more like like you're not sure if she would be annoyed if you decided like, yeah, let's go.
No, that's what I'm saying. She didn't say it that. She said it in a way of like open, like we can totally go if you want, Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, let's just wait a couple more songs or whatever. And they played a couple more songs, and we were still just kind of like, yeah. And I kind of looked back over, and she said it again, like we can go. And I just said, let's just wait till the song's over. I'm not going to get up and leave mid song. That just seems like extra rude.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting up and leaving, and it was funny because I was kind of thinking about you a little bit, because it kind of reminded me of what you were saying about going and seeing Smashing Pumpkins, because it just kind of felt to me like, and this is a big jazz ensemble, there's a lot of people on stage, and they just all seemed bored.
Yeah, like maybe they just didn't, and that kind of stuff can change every day.
Yeah.
It just might be an off day for somebody, and like
maybe they had food poisoning.
Yeah. Maybe they've been peeing out their butts all day.
Yes, exactly.
So
I mean, I felt kind of bad leaving, but at the same time, I think part of the problem also, and the thing is, like I said, they seem like they're very popular. You know, they had a crowd, and there was
Yeah.
like a lot of young people, like college kids there, also older people. I had just never heard of them. Like, I guess I don't have my finger on the pulse of modern jazz. I'll say that.
But nobody's life is being changed that night.
No, but what I am saying is I think we had our socks knocked off so much by the opening act that it became a tough act to follow for the headliner. Because, like, you better come out here and do something. Because, like,
do you think that is ultimately the goal of anybody opening, even for like the biggest people, like you know, opening bands saying, you know, like we're so happy that so and so invited us on this tour to be opening for them. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But you think really they're going to be like, we're going to make it so that the people that follow, like everyone's gonna be let down, by like the headliner. The people that they're really here to see. I mean, you think that is the goal of every opening band?
That should be their
whether
unspoken
or not they say it out loud.
a goal. Yes, is I want because I want to be the headliner. You know, it's like the Tom. What's that? The cap. Whatever that movie is. You know, Tom Hanks is the captain of the ship. And
I'm the captain.
Look at me.
Now.
It's like look at me. I'm the headliner now. You know.
Exactly. And you know, but I do wonder if it's just like an unspoken thing. Like even if internally in the opening band, if they like say that to each other, or if it's just like something that they
maybe
desire to do.
But I'm saying like this guy's like playing this hammered dulcimer thing. But I mean, his whole body is like he's like jumping around while he's doing it. Like he's just so into it. And then these snarky puppy people come out, and it's the same thing. It's a jazz ensemble.
And they barely want to be there.
Everybody gets their solo. And like the song right before we left, like this guy's got this big extended like electronic organ solo, but they have, which the opening act didn't have. Like Snarky Puppy was doing this thing where if somebody was doing a solo, there was like one camera pointed at their face and one camera pointed at their hands, and it was on like a screen behind the stage. And I mean, this guy was just completely like stone faced. Like, are you enjoying yourself? Like at all?
He's like somewhere else. He's like thinking about,
I don't know,
like his to-do list for tomorrow.
I don't know.
He's trying to like organize everything.
And I think like, you know, at one point my wife made a comment like, oh, I felt bad about how that, and I'm like, don't, because like if we had not gone, we wouldn't have experienced the opening act, which to me was like, wow. Like, you know, I've never bought a CD to send home to my mom before, you know, like that's how much I'm like, my mom would love this. I got to buy another one and send it to her, you know?
Yeah. Did you told them that?
No, because I didn't know how they would take it. Like if someone said, "Oh, my mom would like your music," it's like, well, it's, you know, maybe a 75-year-old woman is not their 74. Sorry, in case she watches the show. Maybe that's not their target audience, you know. But it's just like my mom is the one who got me into that kind of music originally, and so to me, it's like, oh, she would like this, and this would have fit right in with the kind of stuff she was listening to back in the 80s.
Well, that's really thoughtful.
Yeah,
of you, I think.
Well, we'll see what she thinks, but.
And you don't even need to, you should just give it to her for Christmas or something.
I'm going to send it now. I think it's even cooler that it's like, here's a gift for no good reason.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, your Minutemen mix mini disc is done. I just got to send it to you.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
I'm very proud of how it turned out. I wish it was easier. Because actually I felt the same way with the Kraftwerk mini disc I sent you. Like I really liked how it turned out. And I was like, I wish it was easier to make a copy of one of these things, because I want a copy for myself.
You just want to dub it, but you have to like run it through every single time.
Well, or if you had like a NetMD player, because then you could just do it to your computer and back, you know. But you'd need like 2 players, or like I'd have to record it off of the mini disc deck to my computer and then back to the. Although this way I could do it. I did something different this time. I made your entire mix. I'll just call it a mixtape in Final Cut.
Oh, interesting.
Because it was just easier. Because then I could put in the little, 2-second pauses between the songs, and plus, like I said, there's like some clips on there that are not music; they're like interview clips, and so I did it all in Final Cut, and then I used a USB audio interface to just digitally send everything into the mini disc deck, and I just hit play in Final Cut and just let it. Like I didn't even export because what?
But is it like the one I have will automatically make chapter breaks if it has like a certain amount of silence?
Yeah, it just doesn't work that well for me.
It doesn't work very well for me.
Supposed
like those
to,
ones
but
I made for you, I had to go through.
I think it wants like 3 seconds of silence, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
I think 2 seconds between songs sounds more natural. So, but I
Yes.
don't mind because then I just go through after, because I have to type in all the titles and stuff anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I just go through there. Because what you do, like when you get to the end of a track, you hit pause, and then there's a button to split the tracks, and it does like a little, my deck, it does like a little demo, like here's where the split's going to be, and then you can use the dial to fine tune it.
Oh, right.
And so I get it right in
same
the
with mine,
exact right spot, and then hit it, which is fine because then after I hit it, I can go ahead and type in the stuff for the next song. So
yeah.
So I don't mind that it's not automatic because I'd probably still have to go through there and fix stuff anyways.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to get it out already, but
Don't.
like my mom's
don't-
waiting
don't
for her
even-
CD too, and she doesn't even know about it. So
Don't rush it. Don't rush it.
next thing on my list, real quick. This is a real quick one. Just I've been seeing these commercials on TV now for the iPhone 15 Pro. You know,
Oh my God.
and they're making a big deal about the fact that it's made out of titanium. Like, who,
I was dying. I saw this randomly
like-
during Monday Night Football last night, and I was dying.
Oh, yeah.
Like this meteorite flying through space. Are you going to talk about that?
no, but I don't think I saw that commercial. What happened?
It's just like a meteorite flying through space, and it like goes into the Earth's atmosphere and like burns up.
Yeah.
And then you see it like falling like in the distance through like the mist.
Like
You know,
pieces of
like-
the meteor, you're saying?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, and then it's like goes into like into somebody's hand, and it's like the iPhone is like from the other side of the galaxy to your hand.
Yeah. I didn't even
The
see that
iPhone
commercial.
15.
That's even more ridiculous.
I was dying about it.
I just see the regular commercials like the AT&T commercial, but they're all like, oh, iPhone 15 Pro, titanium. And like, I just, pardon my French, but who gives a shit what the phone is made out of? Like,
well,
the phone doesn't break. Like, the screen breaks. That's the important part. Like, what's my phone made out of? I don't know, because who cares?
the difference is,
Please
it's
tell
not
me.
so much that. Like I have a 14 Pro, right?
All right.
And it's like kind of heavy.
All right. It's like
And I think
pulling
the
your
idea
pants
is
down,
that
or what?
titanium is like as strong as
Yeah.
this, but it's a lot lighter. It's a
Hey,
lot
you know what else is
like
strong
less
and
dense.
light? Aluminum.
Yes.
Think about it, Apple. Aluminum. I
They
just
may
thought
have
it was
heard of it
weird. It
before.
just to me it was the weirdest. Oh, it's titanium. Like, okay, that's fine, I guess. Like,
Who gives a shit?
well, kind of. I don't know. It's just like I said. The only thing that ever breaks on a phone, really, physical on the outside, is the screen, right? And the
Yeah.
screen's already made out of like some kind of like impact resistant glass. If people drop their phone and break the screen, I can't help you. But I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's ever dropped their phone and been like, oh my God, the entire case cracked in half because it's made out of some kind of fragile metal.
From the other side of the galaxy.
Like I said, I didn't even know about that.
So I got a couple of things on my list.
Okay.
One of them was really quick. Or was your list done?
And I only have one more, but please go ahead. It's fine. It's not.
Well, let me just jump in with one
Yeah.
because I've been thinking about this since I was in Florida, and I meant to ask you about it last week.
The Modest Mouse song, Florida. Yeah, it's a good song. Is that what you were going to?
I want to know what your take is on this, and if this is like kind of a dick move, or if this is like acceptable,
Yeah.
or if it should be like, oh, that's not acceptable. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So when I was flying down there, right? So, okay, you're on the plane and they give you like a snack
Yeah.
and a drink, right?
Yeah.
So it's usually like a cup of a drink.
Yes.
Sometimes they'll give you the entire can.
Usually, if
Along
you
with
ask,
it.
they'll let you have the whole can.
Right.
I've
And then
never
like
gotten
one
any-
snack, right? It's like
I don't
cookies
generally
or
ask,
pretzels.
but if I'm really thirsty and I'm like, can I just have the whole can? I've never gotten any pushback on that.
Right.
What do they care?
Right. And I mean, this is exactly it. Like, I don't think that anybody cares about any of this.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stop thinking about it after it happened.
Yeah.
So like across the aisle was like a couple, and they had been married for a while.
Oh, were they doing
And-
they were doing a Lauren Boebert kind of thing? Is that what you're?
I just heard about that, and my wife told me about it.
Yeah.
I had no idea that even happened.
Anyway.
But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
it's just like kind of an older married couple, right?
Oh, old, like how, like our age older,
older than us.
Okay.
Right. And this is not relevant to the story at all. Like that, like their age and them being probably married is not relevant to the story at all.
Oh, all right.
So, but usually you get like one snack, right? It's like either pretzels or like a cookie, or like biscotti, or like
those Biscoff things are pretty good.
Yeah,
that's United, I think.
So,
is the Biscoff.
The stewardess asked the woman, said, and she's like, "Oh, can I get, a whatever, like a Coca-Cola, and could I get pretzels and a cookie?" Like thinking that she was just like ordering for both of them.
Okay.
And then the husband chimes in and says, "Oh, can I get the same thing?" So I mean, I felt like, like instead of just saying like it felt like a cheap trick to get like two snacks.
So you're saying that she asked for pretzels and a cookie and then received them, and after that the guy gave his order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said, "Can I get the same thing?"
Well, what are you?
No. She did not receive the stuff yet.
Oh, okay.
She was just like taking. So it seemed like, because he was like kind of like not even paying attention. So it seemed like she was ordering something for both of them.
Yeah.
Like a snack for both of them.
Yes.
And then he like turns and says, "Oh, can I get the same thing?" And it just felt like a cheap trick to get more than one snack. It doesn't matter, but it's just like it seemed.
I feel like you're reading too much into that situation, honestly.
Probably, but I've been thinking about it.
Because I mean, I've definitely asked for another. I've never done it at the same time. Like, can I get two of those? But I mean, because sometimes they'll come by, like, "Hey, you want anything else?" And I could be like, "Hey, you got any more of those peanuts or whatever, or pretzels?"
Absolutely, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But it in that situation, it just seemed like she was ordering for both of them, and then he was like, "Oh,
well, I guess I wasn't there to see it all
the same thing
happen." But I don't know. I just don't think,
because I think that
I don't know.
Just about everybody wants more than one snack.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this then, because sometimes they come by with just like a basket with just the stuff in it, and you just reach in there and take something.
I haven't had that happen in a long time. Like maybe that is like
I've had it happen fairly recently, but I'm saying if that happened, if somebody reached in there and took 2 bags of pretzels, would you take umbrage with that as well?
No.
Okay. But because he asked, I mean, I get it. It's just like, I want a Coke and I'm going to get pretzels. That's the meal. And then I'm going to have the cookie for dessert.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know, man. I feel like, standards as far as service go have slipped so much on airplanes that like, I mean, if you're flying all the way from Ohio to Florida, it's like, give me something hot.
It's like
eat.
2 hours.
Give me a, not a full meal, but you could give me a sandwich. It wouldn't kill you. So if all I'm going to get is, trial size versions of like 7-Eleven food, then yeah, I want some pretzels and a cookie. It's the least you can do, literally.
Yes. I mean, maybe I should take that approach. Maybe I should think about it in that way.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't know. Like, it's just something that's kind of been in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I get it.
Since it happened.
I get it.
And I was like, I should talk about this on the podcast.
You should.
And yeah.
I like talking about stuff. It's like, let's one of us presents the situation and then we're going to reach a judgment call on it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a totally separate note, I'm not sure if we've ever talked about this, but recently I watched something on YouTube that was like a clip from like Conan O'Brien, like when he was in the 12:30 slot.
Okay, late night with Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Yeah, when he would just kind of do like some crazy stuff, really.
Yeah.
That would not fly. Anyways, but by doing that...
What do you mean that wouldn't fly? Like he came out in blackface or something? What are you talking about?
No. It wouldn't fly like at an 11:30 slot.
Okay,
like
just wackadoo stuff.
Well, I mean, the thing was like the different channels, different like public access channels, and like one of them was like the Lincoln Money Shot channel. It's just like close up to like an Abe Lincoln guy, like. I can't really explain it.
Like doing it, like his vinegar strokes, or like.
No, he's like he's orgasming.
Yeah, vinegar strokes.
Oh, is that what it's called? Like,
haven't you watched The League? Like, if you haven't watched The League, you gotta watch.
No, I haven't.
That's one of the terms out of The League. Is the vinegar strokes is like right at the end, and you kind of get that face like you're smelling vinegar, like
Okay. Well, that's what it is. Yes, and it's like has a really funny song. It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's very,
I
very
agree
funny.
that's
But
something
that would not have flown at 11:30.
No, I don't think Johnny was going to be doing Abe Lincoln's vinegar strokes at 11:35.
Right. So, like that's just made a whole bunch of like other Conan O'Brien stuff come up, and one of the things that came up was an interview that he did with Super Dave Osborne.
Bob Einstein, yes. Dave Osborne.
So that really like led me down like really kind of reminiscing about, I remember going on spring break, like going down to Florida and like staying with my grandma for 2 weeks. And for some reason, there's always like a Super Dave Osborne like special on during that time. And I was watching a whole bunch of these. And I was just dying. Like, this is a guy who is, there's nothing else like what he was doing because he is so good at just not breaking.
Yeah.
Like all the time. I could not believe that he never broke.
Yeah.
Like in any of these things I was watching. And I know that like the whole punchline is always like something really awful happens to like a dummy version of him at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's funny, but like if you watch some of his like talk show appearances, like he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But he just is like just completely stone face all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I feel like Bob Einstein is one of the funniest, or was one of the funniest people ever, and he's like totally not a household name. People go, you say Super Dave, oh yeah, Super Dave. If you say Bob Einstein, but he was hilarious on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was on the first episode of Norm Macdonald's podcast. He was funny there. He was on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour back in the day. Everything he's ever been on, he's just incredibly funny. I think he was on 2 episodes of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Oh, really?
And those 2, especially the first one, and then the Larry David episodes are the funniest episodes of that show, in my opinion. But part of it too, like you said, is like he's so funny, but he never breaks at all. It's like he's always stone faced while he's telling, these horribly filthy jokes. And then just
like because it's like he the character or whatever he's like or whatever character he's playing like believes what he's saying is absolutely 100% true. It's like not a laughing matter.
Yeah. If you've never seen it, you should watch the first. If you've never seen it, the first episode of Norm Macdonald Live, because that's who he has on the show.
I'm gonna write that down because that sounds.
I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube on the official Norm Macdonald channel on YouTube. But if not, the entire series is on the Internet Archive. The entire series is really good, but the first episode with Bob Einstein is probably the best episode, just because of Bob.
He's got a super unique sounding voice.
Yep.
That's. Nothing else. Do we know like what he died from?
Well, he's pretty old, so maybe he just died from being old. He might have had cancer or heart attack. I don't know, but he was old. He was older than he looked. He's one of those guys that just aged well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. But it was very sad when he passed because I just think he was such a funny guy.
Yeah. The thing the first thing I saw with him on Conan. Was like he had this like these Botox injections in his face, and he came out and he's like, I can't. I'm like losing all this money because I'm trying to tell these jokes and people just can't stop laughing at my face.
Yeah.
So it's like, nobody wants to hire me to come in and tell jokes because they're just gonna like laugh at my face the whole time, not at the jokes.
Yeah.
So he like says, I need everyone to like prove to me that like the jokes are funny and you're not just laughing at me because of my face. Yeah. So he tells these like really good jokes, and they're really good, but it's just like him with this like super like these super puffy lips.
Yeah.
And like it's like this glossy like
Yeah.
look to his skin. It just like really plays up.
Do you
and
think
it's just
he actually
funny.
got Botox injections or something
looks
in
like
order
he
to
did,
do that?
yeah.
Like, how do you fake that? I guess makeup, but I mean, that would be not easy.
But I mean, that seems like totally something that he would do probably
Yeah.
for the laugh. I mean, you know, that's going like the extra mile. Like it would only be funny if he like really had it done. You can't.
Yeah.
And if you fake it and had it done, it's just not. It's nowhere near as funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was just watching a whole bunch of different things with him. Like there's a lot of the classic ones where it's like on the top of the
king of the road.
The bus.
The king of the road.
Yeah,
one.
yeah, and sing King of the Road. Yeah.
That's like the
And
most
it's like-
famous one, I think.
Yeah. Then the one where he gets like hit with the wrecking ball
Yeah.
and it like knocks over the whole set on him and stuff. Funny stuff.
Yeah.
Funny stuff. I mean, if any of the listeners of this podcast have not looked up anything that he's done,
Yeah.
like you totally should. But like it's just like such a weird thing because I have these memories of seeing this, like so many of these specials on like on spring break for some reason at my grandma's house.
Yeah. That is weird.
Yeah.
So this is the last thing I had on my list until we get to like sort of the topic of the day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I was curious if this is something you've seen in your area, because this is something I feel like in the last month or two I've been seeing a lot of, is people are putting these bumper stickers on their car that say like, please be patient, student driver. But obviously it's always been the case that there have been there's driving schools.
Yeah, and they have.
But these are not that. It's just literally people who are not good drivers. It's like the baby on board thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not good at driving. I know I'm going to piss people off behind me. I'm going to put something on my car to try to diffuse the anger a little bit. And so now, I saw just today, in fact, I saw a delivery vehicle. It was like a food delivery vehicle. And it had one of these stickers in the back. It's like, you're obviously not a student driver. You're delivering food. But it's just like, I think it's a way of like, well, I get honked at a lot. And, I don't know. I just
road rage seems to be like on the rise.
100%.
Just in general.
100%. Because I don't know. I don't generally get mad at people who are driving slow. I just think, I think I've said this before, like if I'm driving on like a windy mountain road and someone's driving real slow, I just wish they would use a turnout. Like, I'm up your butt because I'm trying to get around you. There's turnouts for a reason, and there's signs saying slower traffic, use turnout. Please just use a turnout and let me and the 5 cars behind me go. That's the only time I really get. Otherwise, it's like, you don't know why someone's driving slow. Maybe they have antiques in the trunk, or maybe they do have a baby on board. Like, it's not for me to judge, but like,
right.
Be courteous to other drivers, right? So I'm saying if I'm on the freeway and I'm passing some guy and he has a, please be patient student driver sticker on his car. As I'm passing him, I'm going to look over out of curiosity. And like today, it was just like some older dude just driving by himself. But he was like, he was in the right-hand lane on the freeway going like 60 miles an hour. And so I think it's just, that's probably how he drives. And so he's like, I'm going to throw a sticker on the back of the car to try to, reduce the amount of road rage directed my way.
Well, it's like in a way, it's just a non-confrontational way to do that.
Yeah.
Which is good. Maybe they had a bad experience with somebody with road rage.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I guess I'm not bringing this up to complain about it. It's just more of like an observation of like, either there are a lot of student drivers on the road all of a sudden, or this is just like the new baby on board. Although I will say this, if you've got a baby on board sign in the back window of your car, maybe don't camp out in the passing lane on the freeway. Because that happened to me either yesterday or the day before. Like you're in the fast lane, quote unquote, or the passing lane, going like barely over the speed limit, holding up traffic. I think some people think that's okay. It's like you can be speeding or you can be going the speed limit and still breaking the law by holding up traffic. Like you have to move over. Like that's literally the law, at least in this state.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a baby on board, wouldn't the safe thing to do be to move to the right? I don't know.
You'd think.
Yeah.
It always brings to mind a friend of my brother's like had like a real like road rage problem.
Really?
And he always tells me about when they were like on spring break or something like this, like years and years ago. He like drove like down like Myrtle Beach or something. They were like caught behind somebody going real slow, like an older guy. And my brother said that he was like, his friend was getting super angry about it. And he was just like hitting the steering wheel and he was like, quit eating your prunes.
I mean, I don't. Does that count as road rage? I do that.
Well, yeah,
but not
yes,
like I don't.
But
I don't
mean,
like open my window and gesture at the person, but I'll yell in my car while I'm facing forward.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's other times like he was just like getting riled up in that moment. But I always think that now, like if I'm caught behind somebody going real slow, it's like quit eating your prunes.
You like prunes? You ever eat prunes? They're pretty bad.
It's been a long time.
I'm not a prune fan. I mean, there's better ways to get your fiber if you feel like you need.
Prunes are interesting
more fiber
because
in your diet.
I think that as a kid, like those are one of those things that you just inherently think like, oh, I don't like it.
That's old,
even if you've never tried
food.
it or anything. Like it's old people. Like it's like one of those things like where people who'd never eaten them before would always say, ugh, anchovies on pizza.
Yeah. Oh,
and like they'd never had them before, so they can't even. They just assume that it's bad and it's gross. And prunes is another one of those things that I think that, and the same thing is like liver. Like people think, oh, liver.
I like liver pate, but that's like the only way I will eat liver.
But like even people that have never had it would be like, oh,
yeah. Well, you know what?
Immediately.
I'm glad you just brought that up because I actually
prunes or.
No, God, no. Although I will say about prunes, for a long time, I was under the impression it was sort of like an old wives' tale or whatever you want to call it, that Dr. Pepper was like prune juice based.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's been disproven.
Well, if prunes taste like Dr. Pepper, then
I'd eat a lot more.
Everyone would love them.
Yeah, I would eat a lot more prunes. No, so well, I don't know. How do I make this quick? So my one of my office mates, did I tell this story already? One of my office mates just went to Portugal on vacation.
Oh yeah,
and
was it Portugal the Man?
What?
That's like some band. Like some band is called Portugal the Man.
All right, that's a very weird name for a band. But no, apparently one of the main products that comes out of Portugal, one of their big exports is sardines.
Oh, okay.
And so she brought back a ton of sardines to give out as gifts.
I went to Portugal. Like the can?
Yeah, just canned sardines, yeah. And I had never had sardines in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'd only really ever had anchovies as an ingredient in like Caesar salad. Like I'd never eaten an anchovy, just eaten it, Yeah. But part of it was like in my mind, I'm like, isn't the whole fish in the can? Like if you open the can, isn't it like the whole?
And it's like in this weird gel.
The head and the tail and the eyeballs, isn't that all in there? And so I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that. And so I never ate it. But then like she brings back these cans of sardines. I'm like, all right, well, buckle up. We're eating sardines. And I really, really so no, it's not. They cut the head off and the tail off.
Okay.
And then cook it either it depends. Some places cook it in the can. Some places cook it and then put it in the can. It doesn't really matter. But sardines are delicious. Oh my God. Like I didn't realize I'm 46 and I just now found out about sardines.
Because you probably just assumed that they were gross.
100%. That's what I'm telling you. I 100% assumed they were gross. Although I'll say this, if you're not into seafood, if you don't like tuna, you're not going to like sardines either. But like I eat canned tuna a lot, like tuna sandwich or just tuna on a cracker or something. And if you like canned tuna,
fan, but,
you would like,
good.
In fact, I would say sardines are better than canned tuna.
Interesting.
And then same thing. What reminded me is because you said the thing about the anchovies, because just last week, for the first time, I tried anchovies on pizza. That I was not a huge fan of, but I tried it. Mm-hmm. Anchovies are just ridiculously salty, like ridiculously salty.
When I think of the little can, and I wonder if you remember the name of these because it's like completely slipping my mind right now.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of in a can, But
Oh,
they
it's
were like
all in a
little
can.
like little hot dogs.
Oh, Vienna sausages.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's weird. This is not the first time I've talked about Vienna sausages today. So I'm curious to see where you're going with this.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. I was just like, I remember having them at my grandma's house,
Yeah,
and
those are not-
like I loved them, but I haven't had them in
I'm
so
not-
long.
I'm
but
not
they're
a
just like
fan,
little
but-
hot dogs in a can.
Maybe.
But maybe it's been so long since I've had them that I can't even remember what they taste like. I just
I
remember.
mean, they're
liking
not bad. They're not great. I'd much rather have a hot dog. But sardines,
Yeah. Oh,
pretty
of
good.
course.
Although this is the sucky part. So then she brought me the sardines. I came home. My wife and I had the sardines. They were pretty good. I was like, oh, I think I'm getting into sardines. And so I bought some other sardines and I was trying those. But two things that happened are kind of weird. So one, I found out that apparently sardines are like the cool thing to eat right now. Like it's becoming this trendy thing, which to me, that's like
It's
a non-starter.
It's the avocado toast of 2023.
Yeah, like don't tell me something. Yeah, and in fact,
sardine toast.
somebody, no, you're making a joke. Somebody I think it was in my Discord, linked me. Alton Brown has a recipe for avocado sardine toast. I'm not making that up. But finding out that it's like trendy, I was already like, oh, that's, I don't like following all that kind of trendy stuff. But then I found also, this is again kind of a negative thing, but there's a subreddit on Reddit dedicated to canned sardines. Those people are weird. Like it's the same mentality that you find in like the vinyl subreddit or like the retro gaming subreddit. Like these people, like
The audiophile stuff.
no, it's more like they go to the store and come home and then they take what they bought and spread it out on the floor and take a picture and then post it on Reddit like, oh, here's today's haul, or like somebody will do that, like, oh, they're just going to get into sardines, and then like they'll take the same picture and be like, oh, I'm just starting on my journey.
Pick up thread.
No, but it is. They treat it the same way. Like I'm starting my sardine journey, and then like somebody else like posted pictures. You're laughing. I'm not making it. It's the subreddit is called.
Like
it's canned sardines. Go look for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. People post pictures of their collection. Like I have a cabinet for it, and they open it, and like there's just stacks of sardine cans. Like one person was like, oh, I finally got my hands on this one brand, and then somebody else in the comments was like, ooh, is that one worth money? Like, it's canned fish. Are you kidding me? Reddit's like the weirdest. It's like the most materialistic place on the internet and therefore in the world. I never would have thought canned fish could have the same energy as like, a vinyl collecting. Because I don't go into those subreddits either. Like for someone that's as into retro gaming as I am,
but
I
at least
stay
you can
away
kinda
from all that
understand.
stuff.
You could understand like a portion of like some of the passion behind it.
The sardines?
No, like vinyl and stuff.
Yeah, well, I just think people get a little bit too. I'm just not in. There's some people that are more into the collecting than anything else.
I mean, I wonder if there's like a YouTube channel where like somebody to talk about sardines has like, instead of like video game
a
shells
wall of
behind
sardines. After, if you had said that to me 2 weeks ago, I would have said, Coury, you're crazy. Now, I wouldn't be shocked even a little bit.
I need to know, and if it doesn't exist,
somebody should start it because right now is the time to get in.
Yeah.
Everybody says, "Oh, it's too late to start on YouTube doing this or that." Right now is getting into the canned sardine game on the ground floor.
Right there,
an actor that I really like. He played Seaman Jones in The Hunt for October, and then he was like Assistant District Attorney Carver on one of the Law and Order Criminal Intent series. His name's Courtney B. Vance. So there you go. See,
okay.
There's a cool dude named Courtney. Only because like I looked at some of the comments under last week's episode, and most of it was about your name being Courtney and how it's nobody else thought it was a big deal either. So
no, it's not a big deal.
Well. You the way you presented it, like, oh, I'm going to blow your mind right now. Like you didn't blow.
Well, I just think it would be. I only thought it would blow your mind because you just had known me for so long now.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just thought your name was Coury, like on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's not actually Chris.
It's Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 3 people in my life have ever called me, like on the regular, just call me Christopher.
Yeah. Does your wife call you Christopher?
She does.
There you go.
Just by choice. I didn't tell her.
All the time?
Well, I mean, we have nicknames for each other, but I'm saying if she's going to use my name, she calls me. Like if my wife were to say Chris to me, it sounds weird to me.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if my wife was to say Courtney,
Sure.
it would sound really weird to me.
Yeah. You probably left
That
your
would be
underwear
really,
on the floor
really weird.
1
I've never
times
heard
too
my
many.
wife say Courtney.
Yeah.
I should say you can only call me Courtney on our wedding anniversary day.
Oh, wow. Which is tomorrow.
Yep.
What are you doing? You going out to a fancy dinner or?
No, I mean, we're going to go out for like a nice lunch.
Oh, all right. Oh, because the kids will be not around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
makes sense.
And it's last week was her birthday.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's just like.
That's weird.
You know.
The same thing in my house. Like my wife's, for us, it's anniversary first. And then like a week and a half later is my birthday. And then a week later is her birthday. So we have like this whole little.
Oh, wow.
It's like, it's like Christmas and New Year's, like, except in the middle of the year, we have a second little stretch of holiday. It's kind of nice.
That's really cool. Like but it also makes it so you probably don't do as much for any one of those things because you're going to be knowing that you're going to do.
Sometimes, we'll go on a trip or something and that kind of rolls up everything together.
Yeah.
She still gets separate anniversary and birthday gifts though. Be clear. All right. Anyway, hey, first of all, you're listening to episode 45 of Here's My Question for You, the Billy D. Williams episode.
The Colt 45.
I remember those commercials.
It's also my wife's golden anniversary episode because she just turned 45.
Nice. Yeah.
Episode 45.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have kind of our topic for the day. We had both done this list.
Yeah.
Which credit where credit is due, this was 100% your idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we talked about. I had mentioned a while ago because I had seen a Instagram reel where somebody was ranking all the songs on Pearl Jam's 10.
Yeah.
And you start from the track 1, and then we just say like where we would rank it.
Oh, that's what we're doing?
Yeah. So we're starting from the top, like track 1, and we're saying.
Okay, then you're gonna because I don't have the track listing in front of me, so you're gonna have to lead the way because I listed
totally
it
fine.
1 through 12. I just did best to least best.
Yes, and that is totally fine.
Okay.
I just wanted to do it because I think that's the only fair way to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of like going through like these 2 separate lists, we just like go through each track and say where we would put it.
I hadn't have thought of that, but what you're saying makes total sense.
Yeah. So I'll write yours down like as I go here. Too.
Can I just before we start though? Can I just say just real quick because there's actually not too many albums I'd really be able to do this with where I can say like I love this album as a whole, right? Like I love every song on this. Like it's like to me, it's like it's meant to be listened to. Like listen to the whole thing, right? Like
yeah.
You don't
100%.
skip around and whatnot. And I love the whole album. So like for me, it's like it's not like it's best to worst. It's like best to like least best.
Yes.
So when something's going to have to be number 12, but that doesn't mean I think it sucks or anything.
Exactly.
Because I think it's one of the best albums ever recorded.
I mean, Radiohead OK Computer is like, it's one of the very few albums that I can think of that I can tell you exactly where I was when I first heard it.
Wow, all right.
Summer of 97.
Yeah.
I remember driving to a place in Western New York called Midway Park.
Yeah.
And a friend who was playing it in his car. I was like, what is this? This is like so good. He's like, oh, it's a new Radiohead. It just came out.
Yeah.
And I immediately went and bought it. So I'm going to propose something because I don't feel like it's something that should be ranked in here because
please don't because I ranked it. I know where you're going with this. I ranked it.
Okay, and that's fine.
You can skip it when we get to that track. You can just say you're not doing that one.
Okay, but I just want to put it out there for clarity's sake. Like I just think that we should not rank Fitter Happier.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah. I disagree with you, but I respect your opinion. Yeah.
Not that it's bad because it's not something I would listen to on its own. It's part of the experience, and it splits the album in half.
But I mean, it's like spoken word poetry. I mean, it's still a song in a way.
True,
Kinda.
But it's not something that I could listen to any song in this album, just like put it on, and I could probably
All right.
like be happy with it. But that's something
fine.
I'm not like, like.
Well, just
I'm
when
not
we
gonna
get
put this
to
on a
it, then
playlist.
you won't have a number for it. I will have a number.
I mean, I have it already.
Well, I'm not trying to get you to change what you're doing.
Okay.
All right.
So
let's go.
Here it is. We are going to be ranking every song on Radiohead's OK Computer.
Yeah. Radiohead's second best album. Go ahead.
I mean, I would say.
I mean, me and John Darko
best,
agree on that. So, you can say whatever you want
fine,
and have your little opinion.
I mean, I would say it's only
but...
like the Benz is a close second for me.
Okay. Kid A was
right.
the correct answer,
but. Okay.
Yeah.
Track 1, Airbag.
Yeah. Airbag, yeah. Am I going first or are you going? You should just go first.
I'll start.
You're leading the discussion, so.
Yeah. This is a song that I didn't love at first, but now it's probably one of my most repeated songs on it, and I love it. I ranked it as number 3.
That's exactly where I put it. Number 3.
Great song.
Can you imagine how much better this segment would be if we could play clips of the song and not have to worry about copyright BS? I'm just throwing that out there. Nothing we can do about it, but wouldn't that be nice?
Well, maybe we could put something on the Instagram.
I mean, we got in trouble. I didn't tell you because you had to play that, Mr. Jokester. You had to play that little clip of that Creed song. We got in trouble on YouTube for that, so I hope you're happy with yourself.
Yeah, well, now Creed's just getting the ad revenue from that episode.
Right. All right, Airbag, we both agreed. Track 1 is number 3 on both of our lists.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this next one, Paranoid Android.
Yeah.
Is, this one I had a hard time because I love the song, and it's really 3 songs in one.
Yeah.
And I would say that, what is your favorite section of this song? You got the the intro part, and then you have
maybe the middle,
the real heavy part, and then you have the rain down from a great height. I would say that I love the from a great height.
That's what I'm saying.
Section.
Yes.
So this is probably I had a hard time with this. This is probably the hardest one to rank.
Okay.
And I rank this as number 6.
Wow. Interesting. I'm not judging. That's just interesting to me. Because now that you've said that, now I'm just even more curious to hear the rest of this list. So I'll just be very honest and say that this, I didn't have to think about it, as number 1. Easy.
Interesting.
Easy.
That is
because that song is why I went and bought that album. I told that story already, but I saw the video on MTV and I was like, dude, because to me, I told this whole story already. I'm just saying, I know I've said this already. It's not like a senior moment, but to me, Radiohead was just the Creep song. They were the one hit wonder. They had that song Creep. I didn't even really like that song. Because nothing, at least where I live, nothing from the Benz got played on the radio.
Really? So you never even saw the music video for Just?
No.
Have you seen that since?
I went back and listened to the Benz after I got OK Computer. Because like I said, to me it was just I didn't like Creep. And then when I saw the video for Paranoid Android, I was like, dude, this is cool. And I went out to Tower Records, RIP, and bought OK Computer and was like, oh my God, this is the best
right
thing
away.
ever.
That's awesome. It's such a weird choice for a first single, but it's also a really brave thing for them to do, I think.
Yeah.
But it's all, just putting it out there and saying, if you like this, then you're probably going to like the rest of it.
Yeah.
All right. So number 3, we have a Subterranean Homesick Alien.
Yeah.
And this is the first, after I had heard Paranoid Android, I'd seen the music video for it, but I did not go out and buy the album. It was when I heard Subterranean Homesick Alien.
Wow.
It's that was the song that made me go and buy the album. I have this, I tie this song because it's summer '97. I have very vivid memories of a hot summer night, driving my friend Justin with the windows down. And we had just gone and seen the movie Contact.
Oh, I saw that in the theater too, yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. And I loved, like the ambiguousness of the ending.
Yeah.
But there's just something about like that song and that movie and like that summer night.
Yeah.
In 97, just like are like one thing.
Yeah.
So I rank this as number 2.
That song title is a Bob Dylan reference.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to say then. Well, like I said, they're all great. It's just I got to put them in an order. That one for me was 7.
Interesting. I mean, don't take offense. I think that's really cool. Like, it's just really interesting to see that we have a pretty different list.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I got a little nervous when I first heard that we both put Airbag at number 3.
Oh, yeah, that would have been pretty boring if we both had the same. Yeah.
All right. At number 4, we have Exit Music, parentheses, for a film.
Yes. So named because it was was it the end credits for what was it, Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, which is a great movie. It's like what's his face?
DiCaprio, right?
Right, but what's his face? The guy who did Moulin Rouge and what's his face? I can't think of his name.
I don't know. Let's just call him that.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his face?
Like, which I mean, I think that movie is great.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really? I mean, it's really interesting, like visually, but also that they like speak.
I just really didn't enjoy being forced to read Romeo and Juliet in high school, and so when the movie came out, I was like, I don't want to watch that.
Well, the way that the music is like in that movie, it just like really makes it so much more emotional, I think.
Yeah.
The way the music is. And, I saw that one, like when it came out.
It's an impressionable young 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like I hadn't even kissed a girl probably at that time.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did and I was just like obsessed with somebody.
Yeah.
Or something. But I like, it's like, I remember seeing it, I'm like, oh man, that's what love really is.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a whole, is even though it ends like the same way, but it's a great movie. I recommend seeing it.
All right.
I can't believe that I can't think of, he just like did Elvis. I don't know why I can't think of his name.
You're talking about like the director? Is that what we're trying to get at?
Yeah.
Right, I have no idea. Brian De Palma. I'm just throwing that out there. No idea. Michael Mann.
No, he did. Brian, he did this right after he did Scarface.
Yeah.
Right. So I rank this. I like this song.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a mood, I think, and I'm not always in the mood to like listen to this one.
Yeah.
So I rank this at number 9.
All right. I agree with you that it's a good song because, like I already said, these are all good songs.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you about it being a mood. That's a good way to put it. I put it at number 11.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I thought that this was like I think a lot of people really like this song and probably think it's like one of the best ones on here.
That's fine.
At number 5, we have Let Down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to say this is my favorite song in the whole album.
Nice.
I love this song so much.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very easy number 1. I just put it right there.
Okay.
Like I love everything about it.
Yeah.
I love, like I sing all the words to it.
Yeah.
And I love the sparkle sounds at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's amazing song.
Yeah.
Amazing song.
I agree. I've got it at number 2.
Ooh.
And on almost any other album, it would be number 1. But like I said, I can't not give Paranoid Android the top spot. So for that reason, Let Down number 2.
Okay, number 6.
Yeah.
We have Karma Police. I think this song has like one of like the best bass lines in it. I love that boom, 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 like the back half of the song. Mm-hmm. Just
I should learn how to play it, and then next time on the show, I'll play the bass line to Karma Police.
Yeah,
I probably won't, but I should. I'll just say that based on previous comments you made, I kind of thought that Karma Police would be your number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I ranked it as number 5.
I also feel like as someone who likes the Bends as much as you do, I feel like something to me about Karma Police has a little bit of Ben's vibe to it. Maybe that's a weird thing to say. I don't know.
But the bass line, I think, really makes this song a lot.
So you said like, you gave it number 5?
Yes.
Wow. All right. I gave it 4, so it's close. I thought that I would be the one ranking that song lower. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So at number 7, we have Fitter Happier.
Yeah.
And I don't really think it's fair to like rank this in with everything else.
Yeah.
Because it only works like in the context of the album, I think.
I don't think you're wrong, but to me, it's like I feel like we're talking about this album as an album, and like I'm thinking about all the songs in the context of the other songs. You're not wrong that I would never just go listen to Fitter Happier, but for me, I don't think in general I would ever listen to any song. Like to me, I put on OK Computer. I don't.
Right. Yeah.
I don't pull out my phone and say, I feel like listening to Letdown. It's like I put on the album and I listen to the whole album. So
same here.
And to me, Fitter Happier is just a song that doesn't have music. It's just like a spoken word kind of thing. So I actually have it at number 8.
Really?
I really like it. So
yeah, I had it as at 12 just because I felt
I understand. I get I 100% get your reasoning. I just like it's not. I coming at it from a different angle, I guess I would say.
Yeah. All right. So then,
because you couldn't say that like if it was an instrumental, if it was a song that had music but no words. So this is just the opposite of that.
Right. But like the music without words like would work.
That's fine.
More for me. Like I could listen to that. Like,
I get it.
More so like outside of the context of the album.
Right.
Okay. So at number 8, we have Electioneering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I think a lot of people don't like this song because
really
it's more like kind of like a jangly. It feels kind of like the odd one out on this album.
Okay.
Like it feels more like the previous album in a way.
All right.
And I think that some people think that it doesn't like work as well like in the context of the album.
Mm-hmm.
I rank this as number 8 though. It's a song that I probably didn't like as much at first, but over the years, like I've come to appreciate it a lot more.
I've always liked it, so I didn't. I don't know. I guess I haven't really spent time, reading other people's opinions of the album in general. So I don't know.
I'm just guessing.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I really like it. I gave it number 6.
Oh.
Like I'm always happy when, to me, it's like, I like Fitter Happier, and then it goes from that into Electioneering, and I just think that's a cool transition, and I like the way that song sounds,
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's one of the things that makes it work so well, and it makes Fitter Happier work so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the way that it, kind of fades out at the end of Fitter Happier, and then you get like that jangly, and it makes heavy use of cowbell.
Yes, it
in
does.
that song.
Yeah. That song
which
does
feels
not
like
need
like kind of odd.
Does not need more cowbell. It's got
a
good amount.
All right, so at number 9 we have Climbing Up the Walls, and I'm just gonna say like this is, I rank this at 11. It's probably like my least favorite standard song on there.
Yeah.
It's still good, and I really like the sound of the drums. It's almost like a snare drum, but taking off the like the actual like metal snares or whatever.
Yeah,
it has like a sound like that to it.
Yeah,
that I really like.
I don't know what you call it when there must be a name for that. Like when you
like the stuff that's on the bottom, right?
Because that's the thing that drummers will do. Play the snare without the snare on.
Right.
At that point, it's just another tom. I don't really know.
Right. So, all right, so where'd you put this?
Well, it's just interesting because, like, on one hand, I really like that song, and to me, like, it's an important part of the album. Like, I don't skip any songs now because I like it, right? Mm-hmm. But I also agree with everything you said, and I have it at number 12. But it's a good song. Like I said, this is what I'm talking about. They're all good songs, but it's like something's got to bring up the rear, and to me, it's like I would not want that song to not be there.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what this is like trying to do? It's like ranking all the scenes in your favorite movie. You know, some scenes are like, that one doesn't do as much for me, but it has to be there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, that's how I was saying with Fit or Happier. Like, it would seem wrong to like skip that track if you're listening to the album, but it's not just something I would put on a mixtape with like other songs.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, like Climb Up the Wall is a good song, but I feel like it also feels like a little bit messier.
I go with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Than the other songs on the album.
I like the voice.
Right.
He has like he puts his voice through some kind of effects processor that distorts it a little bit. That's kind of cool.
Right.
All right. Sorry.
At number 10, we have No Surprises.
Yeah.
And I ranked this as number 4. I love this song, and it feels like a weird. I mean, it's just like the lyrics to it, and I feel like as I've been like listening to it more recently. Like for some reason when he's like talking about like I'll take the quiet life, you know, like it made it seem like a almost depressed version of
he's talking about suicide, isn't he?
Yeah, like the whatever, the carbon monoxide, but it seemed like almost like a dark version, even though it doesn't sound dark, of like what's the Talking Heads song, like
This Must Be the Place. I don't know. What Talking Heads song
what
you're
is it?
getting
Like
at.
what is the song? The
Psycho Killer.
It's not Once in a Lifetime. Is it? It's
Burning Down the House.
No, it's
Ooh, Girlfriend is Better. I like that one a lot.
No, it's the real popular one. The like This Is My What Happened to My Beautiful House.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. What is the name of that song?
It's not like it's not Once in a Lifetime, is it?
I mean that's the lyric. I don't think that's the name of the song, but that's a lyric in the song.
It might be Once in a Lifetime.
Maybe.
It feels like almost a companion piece, like an opposite of that song for some reason to me.
I don't know.
And like no, it's like it's just something that I just made up in my head. I think.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I put this at number 4. I love this song, and it's probably like it's one of the songs that I feel like I get to like listen to, like on its own a lot.
All right, you're really keying in on this listening to these by themselves thing.
Okay, I guess.
Well, like I said, I don't look at it that way. I don't want to listen to any of them by themselves. You seem like the kind of guy who wants to hop on YouTube and watch movie clips. Like I don't really feel like watching the whole movie, but I want to watch. But
sometimes
scenes.
You just want to see like a scene. Like yesterday, I just watched the scene in Inglourious Bastards in the bar.
Yeah,
you've seen that movie, right?
No.
Oh, you should really watch it. There's I just watched this one scene because it's so tense. I'm like, I just like thought about it. I'm like, I want to watch that scene.
Yeah.
This is something I've always had this on my list, and I'd like to talk about this in a future episode.
Yeah. Great movie scenes.
Just like movie montages. Like, what are some of your favorite movie montages, or like scene like just montages out of different movies, like movies that use montages in them? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, just like scenes like they have a song playing over, like maybe like a passage of time.
Like Chasing Amy's got a pretty good montage in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like Clerks 2 when he's driving around listening to 1979. Like that's a good montage.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite montages of all time.
Or speaking of Talking Heads, the beginning of Clerks 2, there's that's a good montage. And that's a great song.
One of my favorite montages.
That's Nothing But Flowers.
I assume that you've seen it. Is School of Rock.
I haven't seen School of Rock either.
Oh, you should watch School of Rock.
I know.
There's a really good scene.
I never watched that because of
scene.
the whole Jack Black thing. But now that I like High Fidelity, I got to watch School of Rock. I know.
Well, yeah. I mean, in a way, it's like, School of Rock was written for him specifically. To like play something, like a character close to that. But there's like a really good scene in School of Rock where he's like teaching the kids all about like rock history.
Yeah.
And it's like all to like a montage. It's a montage like with the Ramones. Bonzo Goes to Bitburg. My brain is hanging upside down, like playing over top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like one of my favorite montages of like a movie.
I'll watch the movie. You know, a movie I don't probably never going to watch again is Glengarry Glen Ross, but I've watched that Alec Baldwin speech so many times, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Put the coffee down.
Yeah, he's so intimidating.
You know what it takes to sell real estate? It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
He's chewing the scenery in that scene.
Did you ever see the Saturday Night Live skit where he does the exact same speech, but he's going into Santa's workshop and to give a talking to the elves, you know?
No.
Like
that
instead
sounds
of
pretty good.
You know, he even it's the whole thing, but it's just rewritten just enough, you know, because it's like they're in there building toys, you know. So he gets in there and he has the chalkboard, and it's like A B C, you know. It's like A always, B C cobbling, always be cobbling. It's very good.
And is he like smoking? Because I mean, that's like one of those scenes that like really like makes me want to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. It's funny because people talk about like, oh, that movie's got like two great speeches, you know, because it's got the one with Alec Baldwin and then it's got the Pacino speech, you know, about, you know, where he's giving it to Kevin Spacey about calling him a child, you know. And I don't think that one's that good at all. And I think Al Pacino is a great actor, but you watch that speech and it just doesn't really hit. But I mean, you know, Alec Baldwin, say what you want, you know, maybe you're not a fan, whatever, but I mean, he absolutely nailed that role, you know?
Yes, absolutely. All right.
You drove a Hyundai to work and I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name. All right. Sorry, we're getting sidetracked.
You know, you say that like it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and maybe I've never even seen the entire thing, like beginning and end in one sitting.
Good father, F you. Go home and play with your kids.
Well, it's so. My wife and I are like making like, oh, we're gonna have like one night where we like get together and we're gonna like, you know, a lot of times we like watch shows or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let's do a thing where we just like watch like some classic movies.
Yeah.
That we've never seen, that we maybe should have seen, that are like well known for this reason or another. Let's do that. So I think that what spurred me to do that is because, you know, a while back you had suggested that I watch Midnight Run.
Just it's a fun movie. It's not, you know. I
mean, I saw it was
tour
on
de force, but it's just good stuff.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going to watch it right now because I wasn't like feeling good or whatever. I was like laying on the couch. So I did like a double feature of Stand By Me and that.
That's a good double feature. I mean, Stand By Me with anything is a good double feature, though. I love that movie. Yeah.
But I was just like really taken by Midnight Run because I'd never seen the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'd seen like little scenes and everything, but like everybody is so good and just like random people show up. And it's like, oh, it's got what's his face from Alien in it.
Yeah, Yaphet Kotto. I think
yes. Recently died, didn't he?
I believe so.
Okay, back to the task at hand.
As you know, Coury, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado. Anybody want to see second prize? Second prize is a set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. All right. Sorry, I'm done.
Knives. That's all right. But
I'm
going to put that on my list of like
from a Cadillac Eldorado to a set of steak knives.
Yeah, but I mean,
better than being fired.
I'm not going to say no to a set of steak knives.
I'd like to know more about the set of steak knives before I pass judgment.
Yeah. Are they like the kind of steak knives that you can cut a beer
nice,
can in half
with?
German
or Japanese steak knives, or are they just like, cheap crap? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
well, remember that when it was like a selling point for like, oh, these knives can cut like aluminum cans in half.
Dude, I still have some of those knives. The Miracle Blade 2s. Somebody gave them to me when I was in college. They're, those are the exact ones that were like, oh, you can cut shoe leather and you can cut a can in half. They're
now everything can do that.
I guess, but I'm saying like I have like a nice chef's knife, and and those are nice, but you have to constantly sharpen it and everything. I've been using those Miracle Blades, I mean, for certain applications, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Different tools for different jobs, I guess. I mean, I've never used it to cut a can in half. I'll say that. Full disclosure. Never had the need yet.
Yeah. Yet.
All right. So what were we on, 10 or 11? I don't even remember anymore.
We're on no surprises.
Oh, did I not even give my score yet? Because I was too busy.
No, I mean, it's my fault, really.
You think you're a salesman, you son of a bitch? I gave No Surprises that was 9 for me.
Really?
But again, they're all,
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know. It's, it's there doing its job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. At number 11, we have Lucky.
Yeah.
This is a great song.
Yeah.
It's a great song. And if you have a chance, you should look up the live version of this that Radiohead played with Michael Stipe singing it.
Oh.
Like the two of them, like on stage together. I think it's like it was at like a Free Tibet concert, like a outside thing. So I rank this as number 7.
I actually have it at 5. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it's a really good song.
Yeah.
And
And I think it does a good job. Sort of, it's sort of at the tail end of the album. It's a good spot for it. Not meant in a derogatory way, but
yeah,
it's a good place for it to be.
It's a very good song.
Yeah.
And finally,
yeah,
the final song is "The Tourist."
Yeah.
It's kind of, it is a song that I think I've like grown to like more over time. I kind of think that there could have it was really hard to like end this album, and I think this is probably the best way they could have ended it.
Yeah.
But it would be really interesting to see if there was like another song, like how that would play if another song had been in its place, or like one of the I don't know if you ever listened to any of the like the B-sides that they released around this album.
I'm not usually into checking that kind of stuff out, to be honest with you.
You should. Like, they had some compilations and stuff that were very good.
I think I might. So I have this weird. I have a regular version of the album, but I have like this 2 CD set from like they must have released some kind of like collector's reissue of OK Computer, but what I have is like an advanced press copy or something that I just found at a music store or something.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Maybe they sent to radio stations or something.
And it has like a thing of B-sides or something on it?
Yeah. So I'm saying I have that. So although I'm sure I'm sure Tidal also has it. But
I'm pretty sure that that's the same thing that they would later like release as a separate thing.
Yeah.
Which is what I bought, I think.
Yeah.
It has a song called Palo Alto on it.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
No.
It says, "In the city of the future,
I'll check it.
We can something." I don't remember. Whatever.
You make it sound so good. Do I even really need to listen to the Radiohead version? Can you just sing that into your iPhone and send it to me?
You can Shazam that and then see if that shows up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I rank The Tourist as number 10.
You know what's crazy? So did I.
Okay.
Number 10.
So we're it's hard to end the album on that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know if I ever told you this before, but I could go out tonight, make myself $15,000 tonight. Could you? Could you?
No, I couldn't. All right, so from the top, I'm going to read mine in the correct order.
These are the Glengarry leads, and you do not get them because to give them to you is to waste them.
You've got that whole thing memorized.
Out of order, but yes.
All right, so reading them from top to or from number 1 to 12, you got for me is Let Down, Subterranean Homesick Alien, Airbag, No Surprises, Karma Police, Paranoid Android, Lucky, Electioneering, Exit Music for a Film, The Tourist, Climb Up the Walls, and Fitter Happier.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do yours too, or do you want to read yours?
I can do it, yeah. So starting at number 1, I got Paranoid Android, Let Down, Airbag, Karma Police, Lucky, Electioneering, Subterranean Homesick Alien, Fitter Happier at number 8, because it's good. No Surprises, The Tourist, Exit Music for a Film, and then finally climbing up the walls.
Excellent. So, I mean, there's we agree on several things, I think. We cross paths a lot in this. And I think this is fun. I think this is something we could probably do again.
Yeah, definitely.
With like a different album. I mean, we'll have to think about it. Maybe like next time you should adjust one. Something that like you
should go listen to Double Nickels a few times and then we'll do that one. It's 40 it's like 45 songs and we'll just do all 45 of them. I'm joking. We're not going to do that. Don't worry.
I think it has to be something like we have like sort of a history with.
I was joking.
Oh, I know.
Because it's a lot of songs.
You know, it's like a lot of songs that are a minute, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? Do I got anything else to close up?
Maybe not.
No, I mean, I'll save some of these for next time.
All right.
I think.
All right.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I think that's about going to do unless you got anything else. What was the last thing on your list that you wanted to hit?
It was the sticker on the car thing.
Oh, okay.
So you've never seen that. That was the whole point in bringing it up. You've never seen yet that in your area.
The student driver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it, but I never really thought about it.
Like, seen it. I mean, I've seen it on, like I said, on driving school cars. Right. I'm saying I've never seen it where it's just normal people just putting it on their car. Maybe it's moving eastward. Let's check back in.
I mean, I think it's like it makes sense. I'm gonna pay more attention to it.
Keep your eyes out for it. Yeah,
I will. Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this episode number 45.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's my question for you. Send us a question. Maybe we'll read it at some point. Here's my podcast at gmail.com. You can tweet at us. Here's my podcast, but I can guarantee you we're not going to see that. So, or you can X at us
immediately.
Yeah.
X us or blue sky us.
Yeah.
Or Mastodon us.
It's funny because I haven't really moved any of that stuff. I have accounts on those things, but I'm just not doing it anymore. You know, and I'm fine with that. It's not like, I need to get my Twitter style experience somewhere. I'll go do it. It's just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. That's it.
It was the thing that I did, and it's over now.
And it's over now. Yeah. And keep it coming back for more. You know, It's just like X. You know, I look at X and I think, baby, you're all that I need. When you're lying here in my arms, sometimes I wonder if this is heaven.
I would have been very happy with you not ending the episode on a Bryan Adams of all people song.
You know, I feel as though I'm I enjoy Bryan Adams, and when I was down in Florida, I saw my brother, and he's like, "Oh yeah, me and my girlfriend went and saw Pat Benatar, and who was opening for Bryan Adams." I'm like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, we left like after 2 Bryan Adams songs."
Yeah,
he's like, I just really feel like I needed to see anything more.
But I mean, even like no disrespect to Pat Benatar, I can't name any of her songs except for "Love Is a Battlefield."
Oh, really?
Off the top of my head.
I mean, oh man,
is there obvious ones I'm not thinking of? Maybe there is. I don't. I need to get a new microphone thing. This one's getting all squeaky. It's amazing. You can get one of these for $20, or you can literally spend hundreds.
Yeah.
This one is somewhere in between the two, but it's a lot
one or whatever.
Closer to 20.
It was 100.
That's about what this one was, but.
And it works. I mean, you get your money's worth for that.
But I find that while we're recording, I make a lot of micro adjustments to it, and now it's squeaking. I can't have that.
You got to oil that stuff. You got to oil it. SHIT.
Oh, all of a sudden you've gotten bashful.
Anyways, I think that's going to do it. And we'll see everybody next week.
Yes.
And have a
great week.
Yeah. Stay out of trouble.